Hey, this is Jonah Rosenblum. Welcome to Portage Football Live. Sorry for taking off last week, but we are back and better than ever. Live here from gorgeous Streetsboro, Ohio. You can see the fall colors behind me. It's a wonderful thing to see. Before we get to Portage County football, a quick note on the Cleveland Indians. I was there at Progressive Field last night. It's obviously heartbreaking, but I guess I would make 2 points. Number one, before we overreact, this is how baseball works sometimes. Guys who have been great all season, like Francisco Lindor, Jose Ramirez, even Aaron Judge, sometimes they fall into a slump at the wrong time. And number two, hey, it's just great to be relevant. It's great to have a team that we're excited about all summer and speculating about for the fall. I think we'll be reminded how great it is to be in contention as soon as we return to Browns football on Sunday and you remember how much you like just having a team that you can talk about. Let's go to 4 downs. Let's talk about Week 7 of high school football action. Number one, first down, Mogadore Wildcats looked great last week against Southeast. A bunch of the players reminded me that I picked Southeast, and they are right. I was wrong on that pick. But I'll say this, the Wildcats, they lose a lot of personnel. You think maybe they're going to dip a little bit, and then they just come back better than ever. They're running the same plays. They just look dynamic, man. I mean, their running game looks terrific. The blocking's great. The cutbacks are great. The lanes that the line is carving out are beautiful. And somehow Mogadore's back here again. They're undefeated. They're once again chasing a county title, and it just seems like no matter what, that's where the Wildcats belong. But again, they looked really good in Week 7. I was really impressed, and I saw the short passing game continue to develop and become a consistent thing they can lean on third down. Also, let's talk about the Aurora Green Men, another team that maybe we thought they were dipping, right? A lot of people look at their record and say, oh my gosh, what happened to the Green Men? Well, the fact is they played an incredibly tough schedule. So for a lot of people, they might have been surprised that they were able to beat undefeated Highland last week. I wasn't. The Green Men are still a really good football team, and we saw Colin McNamara, the quarterback, rush for 147 yards, complete 10 of 14 passes. This is a really good Aurora team. Do not be mistaken. Also, Kimani Jones spoke to this Ravenna defensive back. What a great kid. Helped Ravenna to a big win over Norton last week. But again, this is a kid that was honorable mention All-Ohio last year. He's chasing big dreams this year. He wants to be All-Ohio again. He wants to play college football. He wants the single-season record at Ravenna for interceptions. What a great kid. I really enjoyed talking to him. Then also Crestwood football returns. Obviously, that's big news. Unfortunately for the Red Devils, a really tough way to return against Rootstown, which is undefeated. But it will just be great for the Red Devils to be back on a football field. 4 games to watch this week. Waterloo at Western Reserve. The Vikings had an impressive win on Friday night. It actually carried into Saturday morning with an electricity failure. They had to finish on Saturday, but the Vikings able to pull off the win. And now they come up against a really good Western Reserve team. A great challenge, a great chance to see where the Vikings are at. Also, Wyndham, Newberry, that's a big game. The Bombers had a couple of setbacks in big games against Garfield and Grand Valley. They were competitive in both games. They very nearly beat the G-Men. They came pretty close against Grand Valley as well. I think psychologically it's important for Wyndham to get this win, and it's also their only way of kind of staying alive in the chase for a home playoff game. Again, they still have a really good shot at the postseason period. They're almost guaranteed to make it, but they really need to beat Newberry to have the chance to play at home in Week 11. Coventry at Woodridge, another huge game. I think this might be the best chance anyone has to knock off the Bulldogs this year in the Metro Division. Nobody has done it since Woodridge joined the Metro. This is a big chance, though. I think Coventry has the big weapons to compete with Woodridge. They're similar teams in a sense. They're both really balanced. They both have dominant linebackers in Braden Doberman and guys like Robert Singletary. So this should be a really fun matchup. And then finally, the game I'll be at for the Record-Courier, Mogadore at Garfield. The G-Men have a dynamic rushing game. It's a very different kind of running game, a little more complex, a little more nuanced. The Wildcats, as I mentioned, they're just carving out big lanes, and they're running on anybody and everybody. So it should be a really fun game. You can follow all that at JLR Sports, and of course you can follow all of our coverage at record-courier.com.